It is time for our series Kindness 101, where Steve Hartman and his children share stories built around kindness and character and the people who have mastered those all-important qualities. Today's lesson, self-confidence. The Hartmans introduce us, to a Super Bowl champion who says his biggest achievement actually took place off the field.
Hello, I'm here with Meryl.
And I'm here with our lesson on self-confidence.
And for a definition, we go over to Emmett at the dictionary desk.
I'm defining self-confidence as believing in yourself and your abilities.
Emmett, you are a 3-time National Junior Shuffleboard champion. This is something very few people know about you. You're very self-confident when you're on a shuffleboard court. But what if I put you on the ballet stage?
I'm out.
Yeah.
So you can play, but you can't plie.
I guess you could say that.
Point is, self-confidence is easy when you're good at something. The challenge is when you're not, when you're outside your comfort zone. But it is possible, as you'll see in this story, pulled from our library, filed under self-confidence.
In Athens, Georgia, in the bestseller section of this Barnes & Noble, Kathy Rackley found a novel story of her own.
Did you have any idea at all who he was?
None.
And you didn't tell her?
I didn't, but I knew they were gonna find out, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Fact is, Kathy may have been the only one in Athens who didn't know the name Malcolm Mitchell. Number 26 for the University of Georgia Bulldogs was one of the top recruits in the country a few years ago. He's Georgia royalty, and presumably, if Kathy had known that, she wouldn't have stood in that Barnes & Noble, talking his ear off about the book club she'd just joined.
I mean, he stepped back and he said, "You did?" And he said, "Can I join your book club?" And I said, I don't know if you want to join mine. We're all 40, 50, and 60-year-old women.
But Malcolm was undeterred, which is how one of the top players in the country began meeting monthly with his book club lady friends.
Oh yeah. And then he went to the wedding.
I love that part.
He's the only man and the youngest by a generation, but Malcolm doesn't care, nor does he care what anyone thinks.
Somebody called me a nerd. It's not a word that I'm used to hearing.
Is it okay though? Are you okay with the label?
It's like a badge of honor to me, knowing where I came from.
Malcolm confessed to me that when he started college, he could only read at about a junior high level, and it bothered him. So he started putting as much effort into his reading game as his football game.
Every free moment, he had a book in his hand. He's now reading things he never dreamed he could. And although some of the book club selections he would never pick himself, Malcolm seems to enjoy them all.
Yeah, the ending was great.
Looking at your life now, all you've accomplished, what are you most proud of?
I finished the Hunger Games series in about 2 days.
Have you seen any of the footage of you scored touchdowns? That's not your most proud moment?
That came natural. That's a gift. I had to work to read.
But his greatest talent is his self-confidence, to step outside his comfort zone, to be able to meet people and focus so sincerely on what they have in common instead of their trivial differences.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sometimes football makes great men, and sometimes great men just happen to play football.
Malcolm Mitchell joins us now. Hello, Malcolm.
Hi, how are you all?
We're great.
How did you find the self-confidence to read after struggling for so long?
I think my dreams outweighed my fear. So joining the book club, for me, it was as simple as this seems like the necessary next step to get where I want to be.
You made it into the NFL and you were in some kind of big contest. What's the name of that?
Something about a bowl. And
Yeah, Super Bowl, I think it was.
Super Bowl, that's right.
Yeah. And then after that, you did something even more impressive.
In 2016, I created Share the Magic Foundation. When I learned how much reading impacts an individual's life in every aspect, it became my deepest desire to inspire people to read. And one of my ways of doing that is writing picture books.
How many books have you written?
I have 2 books published by Scholastic. One is titled The Magician's Hat, and the other is titled My Very Favorite Book in the Whole Wide World.
So the guy who could barely read is now an author?
Emmett, I would have to say that in itself explains the power of books.
Thank you, Malcolm. Hope to see you soon.
Keep spreading that kindness.
Self-confidence means believing in yourself. But more importantly, it means believing that you can be good at something, even if you're not right now. We'll see you next time.
Until then, stay kind.
God, I love Kindness 101
So good,
much.
so good.
Goodness, yeah. It's one of my favorites, actually. I'm sorry, I had animal crackers here below the table. A little bit in the back of the teeth. But anyway, we got to get through this quickly. If you want your children in your area school to see lessons like these, tell their teachers. It's called kindness101.com. Go to that website. Educators can check it out. They can access all the Kindness 101 videos and professional lesson plans that go with each and every one.